That is some terrible news. Greetings, citizens. First of all, I am the judge. Dredd may be the law, but I am the judge. And apologies, I've been away from my duties here on this channel for quite a while. And as it turns out, some bad news has occurred during my absence. For those who are not in the know with Judge Dredd, especially from out of the UK, one of the very first video games that ever came out with Judge Dredd as the character was for the Sinclair ZX Spectrum. It's a late mid-80s computer, primarily out of the UK, and there is a Judge Dredd game for it. I always thought about playing it for the channel, but A, I don't have a Sinclair ZX Spectrum, and B, it's a pretty bad game, so I kind of left it on the back burner for the longest time. Unfortunately, back in September of last year, Sir Clive Sinclair, the creator of the ZX Spectrum, sadly passed away. And I feel like I should actually play his game, or play the game on his machine, to pay tribute to his memory. Again, first problem is, I don't have a ZX Spectrum. So, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to play it on an emulator here on this computer. Now, I have misgivings about using emulators due to their legal status, and as you know, we street judges maintain the law. But I think, for Clive Sinclair's memory, I will make an exception. Let's try out Judge Dredd on the ZX Spectrum. Alright, so as mentioned, I'm going to be playing this on an emulator that's online. It's called ZXSpectrum.xyz, so I'll put a link below if you want to try out this game or any of the other games. It seems to have pretty much the entire ZX Spectrum library. Here it is, Judge Dredd. Now we're going to start off by adjusting the options. It defaults to joystick. I'm going to select keyboard instead and map or define those keys. There's all the movement keys and, of course, fire. We're going to remap those just to make the fire a little bit easier to reach. The first thing I got to do is select a mission. You only have a limited time and you got to move fast here in the street view. These cybernetic dogs do take quite a few shots, but at least we can kill them and get them out of our way. We're in the Elvis Presley Mega Block. It may not be obvious, but I'm actually looking for a main perp, one who has something that looks kind of like a rocket pack on his back. If I can get to him, the crime will be solved. This area has been pacified. In this mega block, tobacco smoking is the problem. He's been arrested as well. Let's try down here. In this mega block, we gotta find an arsonist. There are some guardian robots that seem to be patrolling each floor. They don't do any damage to you, so you can walk past them, or you can fire. They don't seem to fire back. It's not very realistic that I can jump up an entire floor like this, but we won't argue. There's no guy in a jetpack, so this is not where we want to go. Can I go up? So in order to jump from floor to floor, you want to press the up button quite significantly. However, if you want to use one of these blue elevators and go up, just press up very briefly. Took me a second to figure that out. There's still no sign of our perp. I find it odd that there's these rolling assembly lines that drop you onto something that does damage. That's odd. I don't know about these green elevators. I'm trying to push down and I don't seem to be able to go anywhere. Oh, I died on that round. Yeah, maybe we'll give it a second try here. Now we're looking for a murdering perp. These little sparks, whatever they are, they do damage to you. They can be shot to get out of your way. As can these rats. I wonder if all the conveyor belts go in the same direction. Ah, I got hurt there. Yep, confirmed. They always go to the left. Now that's clever. Then we got some trap doors in the floors. I just fell several stories. Clearly these perps want to keep a judge down. Don't worry about the sentry robots and try your best not to kill any of the innocent citizens. Well, there's our perp down at the bottom of the building. Unfortunately, my health is very, very low. I think I'm dead. Now, strangely for this investigation, my kill option has changed to halt. Every time I press the fire button, now I'm shouting halt. It would have been nice to be able to arrest these perps instead of kill them. Oh, I'm dead again. And an interesting point is if you dilly-dally on that street view where you gotta select the different assignments to go to, if you take too long, you die, like I have. So what's my final verdict on Judge Dredd for the ZX Spectrum? Well, it's a fail, but you know what? I gotta give it a lot of leeway. It was the first. There was, I think, one on the Commodore 64 that came out a few months before. But for the sake of this discussion, it was the first Judge Dredd video game that existed. As a result, gotta cut it a bit of slack. I do like the going around the Mega Blocks trying to find the perps. I think Dredd is well animated for the hardware of the time. I think you get a good idea of what it's like going through the different floors of the building. I'm not too thrilled, though, with the fact that you have to kill pretty much everybody. I'm sure the Cybo dogs, that's fine, whatever. but I'd prefer to be able to arrest the perps, as I have for other games like on the Genesis and Super NES. But you can't with this one. Unless there's some part of the control I don't get. You remember in some levels it said halt instead of kill or fire? But in the setting up of the controls, my only option, other than movement, was to fire the weapon. So I don't really know if there's ways to cycle through. Can you switch between firing your lawgiver or just arresting or saying halt? I don't know. That might be mission specific. Tried to research this in advance, couldn't find too much information. But I will overall give it a failing grade just because it looks terrible, it plays terribly. It's not the fun game that anybody would ever want to select to actually play other than to commemorate the passing of Sir Clive Sinclair. Alright, well that's it for now. I'm hoping to come back more regularly. I've been kind of busy with my street judge performance duties. And until next time, stay out of trouble.